First of all, you need to know what the marketplace in general is doing. Okay, so if you're in a market that's just declining, so that creates a shrinkage, a contraction in the market. So if you're going to buy, you better make sure that you buy so that you can resell.
Welcome back to part 2 of tax assessed value versus market value, where we're going to be discussing the difference when it comes to selling your tax defaulted property. Today we have Ted Thomas, who is America's tax lien certificate and tax deed authority, who has been teaching newcomers for 30 plus years how to invest in tax lien certificates and tax deeds. Hi Ted, let's go ahead and get into it. I have questions from your social media site right here in my hand. So let's start with question number 1. This comes from LinkedIn, and her name's Michelle, and she wants to know, when selling a tax deed property, is it wise to sell a property based on market value, or should I be selling it based on the assessed value?
Okay, well, you can do all the basis you want, and you're trying to compare assessed value and market value like you're reading a book. There's nothing about what we're doing is reading a book. This is a hands-on, touch the business. You're going to have to go out and figure out, number one, what you think the property is worth. Then you want to buy it at 20 or 30% below that. Nothing to do with the market value on the selling, because if you're learning from me, if you had a $100,000 property, you bought it for 30, sell the darn thing for 60, get rid of it. You're not worried about the market. The only reason you care about the market is you want to have some margin to give the other guy a chance to make some money.
Okay, I have another one here from Facebook, and the commenter wants to know, how can I determine the market value of a property before participating in a tax deed auction?
It's a piece of cake to figure the market value. It's a piece of cake. People don't do it, but it's really easy. So what people do is they go to the auction, raise their hand, they buy something. Then they say, let's go look at it. It's a disaster. What do you mean, let's go look at it? You want to know what the value is before you ever even dream about bidding. So you find a property that's coming up for auction, then you go and look at the property. Then you figure out what the market is by checking comparable values, go and check all the for sale signs, go on the multiple listing service, go on Trulia and go on the eBay, go everywhere you can to find out what you think that market value is, all right? Now, if you found that value, now you're going to go down here and buy it at a price where you have some margin so you can sell it. Now, if you're trying to sell a used and abused property at market value, you're not going to get it done. It is not going to happen. It's come up for tax auction. These are used and abused property. They probably need paint. They probably need clean. They probably need fix up on the inside. They might be a hoarder house. They might be worn out and need new bathrooms or whatever. You have to look at that property and say, what can I buy it for, and what am I going to do with it? You're more than likely not going to sell property at market. You're going to sell the property to a fixer-upper or a renovator or someone that's going to wholesale the property. You just want to buy it at the lowest price possible that you can sell it to someone that is going to fix it. They're not going to just say market. They're going to say, what's the after repaired value, the ARV? What is the after repaired value? Because they're probably going to have to fix it. I don't teach people to fix it. Now, look, some properties you're going to buy, it just needs a little Band-Aid. You put a Band-Aid on it, that means sweep it out, a little touch up of paint, you can sell it. Other properties, they need major surgery. I don't teach my clients to do major surgery. That means fix them up. You want to sell that to a renovator, or you want to sell it to a fixer-upper person. So you need to know all these values. Yes, there's a market, but you're not going to buy tax properties and sell them at market. You'll be dreaming. You're absolutely dreaming. You're going to buy a property at the lowest price possible and then sell it to a fixer, or you're going to sell it because it's used and abused. It's not new.
Okay, my next question comes from one of your subscribers, and they want to know, are there any other factors that potential buyers or sellers should consider besides assessed and market value when selling their property?
Sure, there's a lot of things that you have to think about if you're going to buy it. First of all, you need to know what the marketplace in general is doing. Okay, so if you're in a market that's just declining, or you're in a marketplace where there's no money, in other words, the federal government saying, no, we're not going to allow a lot of real estate loans, or the real estate loans go sky high on interest rates similar to what they're doing now. They're going up quite a bit. All right. So that creates a a shrinkage, a contraction in the market. So if you're going to buy, you better make sure that you buy so that you can resell. All right, now you don't just dream about reselling a property. Selling the property is a challenge, and it's the biggest challenge that people face. Anybody can buy. You want to buy something, go to Macy's, okay? Go to Costco, go to Target. You can buy anytime you want. The pros know how to sell it. So what you do before you buy it is you go figure out what is the market that you can sell it for. What's the market you can sell for? And then you make sure that you buy it below that market, because there's always a buyer for bargains. There's not always a buyer at market price. There's always a market, but that doesn't mean the property will sell. So if you buy it right, 20, 30, 40 cents on the dollar, sometimes I'm looking at a house and I say the value is $400,000. Well, what if I have to pay 30 cents on the dollar or 40? So let's see, 400,000, 40%? That means I got to pay 160,000. You'll say, oh, 160,000, oh my God. Well, what if it takes more than a Band-Aid to fix it up? I might have to fix it up, but I've got margin. The key to the business is think of this stuff ahead of time. What you're doing is you're trying to get bargains that you can sell to other people quickly, or you better be able to figure out the after repaired value. Now, I don't teach that. Why? Because I don't want my clients to start fixing property when they got to start putting in bathrooms at $20,000 and kitchens at $40,000 and $50,000 and fixing roofs and all that. I said, let's buy it, then let's sell it to someone that can fix it up. If you are going to fix it up yourself and you have those skills, great. But what is the after repaired value, which we haven't even mentioned? We haven't talked about appraised value. All we've talked about is assessed value and market value. All right, banks won't use either of those. A bank is going to require a professional assessor go out, okay? They're going to have to go out and check that. Not a tax assessment, not a market value. They're going to send out an appraiser. That's a professional job. That's going to cost money, $400, $600, $800, because they won't trust anybody else. They'll only trust the appraiser. You haven't even talked about that. All right, those are all costs. So you're going to have to think about that stuff ahead of time, because properties don't automatically get sold. That's the challenge.
If you guys have any questions about today's video or any questions in general, you can always leave them in the comment section and they will get answered right away. Ted, don't you have a free gift for the viewers who are watching today?
Okay, the challenge is, it's a wonderful challenge. This is what the challenge is. The challenge is, nationwide, we have more than 5,000 auctions, more than 5,000. And on the 5,000 auctions, they could have anywhere from 50 properties to 2,000 or 3,000 per property. So it's a business of abundance. All right, that business of abundance is separated into 3,000 counties. Now, how are you going to track 3,000 counties? What we had to do in the old days is we bought newspapers, and then we bought newspapers, and then we bought auction brochures like this. We brought auction brochures that looked like this, with thousands of properties. And we had to buy a newspaper. I'm just going to get a newspaper. We bought newspapers. So that's how we had to look up properties. Now, if you try to do that with 3,000, you're going to be, I'm in a studio now. My studio would be full of newspapers. It would be full because there'd be so much information. All right, so what we did, you just move your cursor across the county and now find out when the auction is, how many properties they have. Then you can actually go into depth and go right into the county and find out that tax assessed value. You're going to have to figure out your own market value. You're going to have to figure out your own ARV, after repaired value. You can do all that. You can do it sitting on your Rusty Dusty. It's right below me. If you'd like to do it, there's a demo there.